Hi there, welcome back to another video. My name is Monica of Milly and Monica, and I am a full-time clothing reseller on apps like Poshmark, eBay, and Depop. So if you are interested in reselling clothing online, and of course making money online, please consider subscribing to this channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and of course hitting that bell notification. Actually, YouTube has changed their algorithm a bit, so you might not even be getting notifications for this channel if you do not hit that bell notification. It's so important today. And if you're not subscribed and you've just been kind of following along because YouTube was showing you my videos, they're also stopping doing that as well. So it's more important than ever that you subscribe to this channel. But I know that if you saw the title of this video, you might be thinking, how is this a video going to be reselling related? I promise it ties in because my life is so focused on my business, and my business is basically my life. So what I'm about to share is definitely going to change my business. And maybe if you're thinking that this might be what your family is going to be going through soon, or you're expecting any changes like in your life at all, this video might be somewhat relatable to the very least. So anyway, if you're not interested in what this topic is going to be about, then just go ahead and maybe watch some of those other videos. But you've already probably seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, and yes, I am pregnant. I'm expecting a boy in late September, and we already know that it's a boy because we were a bit impatient, as in my husband and we did some genetic testing, and we were able to find out quite early that we are indeed having a boy. I kind of already figured that. I just feel like a mother's intuition. I figured I was having a boy, and sure enough. It's been kind of hard to keep this a secret. Obviously, things start to change. My body has been changing since literally week 4. I'm now at week 15. This is my first child, and my husband and I have been married 8 years, and we've just kind of been living life and building careers, changing careers, moving across the country, and then moving again. And we've done a lot in 8 years, and it was just kind of the right, maybe not the right time, but as right as it was ever going to be. I don't think there's ever a right time. Things definitely are not perfectly aligned or where we maybe thought they would be at this point, but we are very excited. We're very happy about this next chapter in our lives, and it's definitely going to change my business a bit. And ultimately, you know, I said in the title, big changes, but ultimately there's a lot of things that are just going to be unknown until baby is here, until I'm faced with the different challenges. I don't know exactly what all will be changing, but I have a pretty good idea that my daily routine is going to look very different. So I don't know, again, if this video can be relatable to, you know, some of you, if you're thinking about, you know, adding on to your family, or, you know, maybe starting a new family, or, you know, maybe there's something else that's happening in your life right now where you're going through a big change and a big transition. So what I think is going to be possibly the biggest thing is just our living situation. And I have a couple videos that actually show my posh room and my inventory storage, and I would highly suggest watching those if you haven't. But if you have seen those videos, you know that we live in a 2-bedroom home. We own a home, actually, and one of those rooms is my posh room, and it is full. It is so full. And if we stay in our current home, this space that I'm now filming in is going to need to change dramatically so that I can share the space with baby. And we'll see what happens in the next 5 months. We still have time. Ultimately, the situation is my husband and I 4 years ago bought a duplex side by side. They're mirror image units, I guess you could say. And we live in one side and our tenants live in the other. And we have really great tenants. Well, I shouldn't even say we, because my husband really takes care of it. But, you know, we've had really great tenants to live next to, and you know, the whole situation of being landlords and owning a property has been really great for us. We did not expect to still be living here. Ultimately, when we bought this place 4 years ago, my husband and I both were in different careers. I was a teacher, he was a CPA, and we figured we'll be here for a year, maybe two, and we'll buy our next property, and we'll just continue the cycle. Well, what happened is after a year of teaching in this state, Minnesota, where I currently live, I decided this was not a state I wanted to teach in. There was so much to that story, and that is not what this video is about. But ultimately, I decided to leave teaching and resell full time. And about the same time, actually, my husband actually decided to leave accounting, and he no longer wanted to be a CPA, and he is now an executive recruiter. And his income is his income is no longer salary. It is now fully commission. So we basically not only did we change careers, but we're basically both self-employed. And when you want to get a second loan or a second mortgage and you've changed careers, banks are kind of like, we don't really want to lend to you until you've shown us that you can have steady income for 3 years. Now, this is something, I don't know if this is the same for every state, but it's true for our state. So we need 3 years to prove that we can have steady income. And it's been almost 3 years now. It'll be 3 years this summer/fall. So we're really hoping that this summer we can kind of move out of our current place. We do not want to sell our duplex because for so many reasons, this is just a really good investment property, and we know that. And even though it'd be so easy to just sell this place, walk away, and buy a home that's much larger, ultimately, long term, we know we'd rather sacrifice some comfort than let this place go, which is going to be a great investment for our future, you know, whether it be retirement or what say you. We just don't want to let go of this property. So that's kind of where we are with, you know, not really knowing, are we still going to be in this space, or are we going to have to move, you know, 6 months after baby? We don't know, but we're playing around with both ideas right now and seeing what we can do. Ultimately, if we do stay here and we're here for another 6 months, I will move all of my inventory into our garage space, and then I'll have room for baby, and we'll just have a co-working space where this wall kind of behind me will still be where I do some shipping and photographing and all of that. And then the other side of the room where all my inventory is will be a crib and things like that. So that's kind of the biggest maybe possible change, depending on whether we move or stay here. It's going to be a change either way. And then of course, how I work is going to be different. You know, as a first-time parent, like there's a lot I don't know, but I also feel like I'm maybe better prepared than some first-time parents. I grew up in a home in which my mom ran an in-home daycare. She ran a daycare for 12 years while I was growing up, from the ages 5 to almost 18, and I have seen more kids come through our home than I could probably count, and lots of babies. I was 8, almost 9 actually, when my youngest brother was born, and I helped out a lot with him, and I remember that. And I've also worked in preschools. I've been in childcare myself, lifeguarding. I mean, I'm used to chaos, loud noise, and then also running my own classroom as a teacher, which I know is very different. Within being a teacher, I was able to manage not only almost 30 kids, years where I'm teaching K1 split, where you're managing all these different things at once and still being effective and efficient. So I do feel like, although things are not going to be as comfortable as they are now or as flexible as they are now, I do feel like it's very possible for me to continue reselling and to be profitable. You know, I might not be as profitable as I am now. I might not be bringing in as much, especially for a certain amount of time. But I am very optimistic that I can still make this business work. One of the reasons I actually wanted to go full-time and leave teaching was because I knew we wanted a family, and because I knew that this was coming, and I wanted to be able to stay home with my kids and have a business. You know, I grew up in a home where my mom had a business. Even though, you know, she was managing multiple children, she was still in our home. She was still there. She was there after school. She was there when we needed certain things. And I really, looking back on that, appreciated that so much. now, especially as an adult. Maybe as a child, I definitely didn't appreciate having lots of children in my home personally. But looking back on it, it was so nice to have her there, and that structure and that consistency and knowing where I was going to be is really important and something that I want to be able to do for my own children. So I knew that being a teacher would be very difficult at times with having your own kids, and I've saw other teachers struggle with that. Not saying that all do, but I just knew that with my husband's schedule, being a teacher and not having as much flexibility was going to be very difficult to be there for my own kids. So that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to become a full-time reseller. And so yes, my hours are going to cut back, and I feel like this video is getting kind of rambly and you might be getting information that maybe you didn't want, but maybe is important. Like if you're looking to buy a home and also quit your job, you might want to keep your job until you buy the home because loans and lending and all of that gets a little tricky. And then also, you know, like there's just other things that go along with being a business owner and having, I'm sure, having kids. And I would love to hear any tips from some of you that are moms who have kids at home, and like what does your schedule look like? When do you find your most productive times are? How is photographing maybe more challenging when your kids are home versus maybe at school, or if you do daycare a couple days a week? Because I would really like to know some of that information. But definitely, like if you are a reseller and you are home with your children, even mom or dad, like how do you go about structuring your day so that you are the most effective and efficient? Because it is definitely going to change for me. So I'm currently working definitely more than 40 hours a week, probably closer to 60 hours a week. I do work every day. It definitely looks different on Saturdays and Sundays than it does Monday through Friday, but I know my hours are going to be cut back probably significantly. So making sure that I'm even more efficient with my time is going to be key. And once I think we fall into a routine, baby and I fall into a routine, I think it's going to be much, much simpler. But basically what I expect is that within the next 5 months, I am saving up money and putting money away for like a 6 to 8 week maternity leave. During that leave, I'm going to leave my stores open. I'm not going to completely close them down. I don't really see the point. I'll be doing shipping, you know, as often as I can, probably with the help of my husband. And then, you know, once I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable and up to it, start doing the listing and process of listing again and kind of slowly working back into that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Basically, I'm just, you know, excited, but I know that there is a lot that I just can't possibly know and can't really expect right now, but I'm just doing as much as I can while I still feel really good and while I have like full mobility. Like it's not very hard for me to bend over or do anything, you know, right now. So I'm just chugging along as best as I can for the time being, and then as I get closer, we'll kind of see where I'm at. As for this channel, I'm not quite sure what videos and scheduling is going to look like. You know, so far pregnancy for me has been pretty smooth sailing and pretty easy. However, I do get a lot more tired and worn out more easily. And so I'm finding that filming, it's just not something that I'm looking forward to, and not really something that I'm wanting to do because it is extra. Like for me, it's not necessary for my business. It's very extra, and it can be very tiring to film and edit and upload. So it's not really something that I am finding is absolutely necessary for my business right now. But we'll see how it goes, and hopefully I can bring some sort of consistency back to this channel. I know it's been kind of an up and down, all over the place with uploads. So thank you for being patient with me. I do appreciate that. But as far as everything else, yes, I'm just trying to be as consistent as I can with the other tasks that are required for my business to maintain running right now, so that I can just put away what I need to put away for that little leave time. And then yeah, that's kind of my main thing and my main goals right now. And again, if you are a stay-at-home parent and if you have any tips for how to best work around kids at home. Especially, I'm sure many of you have lots of tips with this past year having kids at home. What has worked for you? I'd be really interested to know. And I'm sure a lot of you might be in a similar situation and could also benefit from some tips. So I'd love those in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for being here again. And as always, I'll see you next time.